about a 3-mile walk. It's July in Chicago, so it's hot. I think it was like 90 degrees. So I think I need to go take a shower. I want to finish my podcast. I've got like 5 minutes left, and then I'll come back and say hi and catch you up on the past 6 months of my life. Whew, okay, I'm back. I'm back. In all honesty, I have been meaning to pick up the camera for months, but life sometimes just has other plans. It has been a very busy year in a sense. You know, just having a toddler and juggling seasons of my husband's work schedule. Hi, by the way, my name is Julia. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I haven't posted here in quite a long time, but my husband works a lot of like non-traditional hours. So I have an 18-month-old toddler, if you can believe it. And he is amazing and also a lot of work. So, you know, it hasn't always been super easy to like find the time to film when I want to, because I've literally been thinking about it for months. I thought I would give you just a little update on what's been going on in my life since, again, it's been a hot minute. So it's July, it's the beginning of July. In April, I went down to 4 days a week at work, and it has been the best decision I have ever made. I get a whole day back in my week, both to do things productively when I don't have a toddler like drawing all my attention, but also to do things for myself and have some time to like be a human and feel like a real person. A lot of people have asked me when I've told them that I went down to 4 days, they're like, oh my God, that's amazing. Is your son home with you on Fridays instead of at daycare? And I'm like, nope, he's still at daycare. And I am so sure that there are people who think that makes me a bad mom. But let me tell you, I know I'm a better mom because I get that time for myself. In no world would I be as like emotionally well as I am right now if I was still working 5 days a week, because like I said, my husband works a lot of nights and weekends, which means that the non-daycare hours tend to be a lot on me. So like I will work 5 days a week and then do evenings and weekend days and nights on my own. I mean, it just makes it so difficult to even like cook a meal for myself, you know, do a load of laundry. Like those things are just really, really challenging. My son does not like to play independently. He will play by himself for a little bit, but then if you try to walk away, sneak away to do something, like he will get up and follow you and maybe cry about it. So there's a lot of just like sitting around and playing with my little one. He loves to read, and so like he just wants to read books, which he can flip through them himself, but he wants to do that with me. He wants to sit on my lap and read books. So yeah, it just makes it challenging to step away. So having that day for myself it's been life-changing. It's honestly been life-changing. I'm really grateful that my employer let me do that. I basically have kept all of my benefits, just sort of prorated to like 80% of what they were, my pay, my time off, all that stuff. So yeah, it's been amazing. Also, feeling like a human, I'm getting back into the things that I liked to do before I had a baby. I think from the time that I found out I was pregnant, I didn't read a book for like more than a year and a half. And before I was pregnant, I was reading like 30 books a year. So that's been something that's been so nice to get back into. I originally set my reading goal for this year to 12 books because I was like, I think I'd be able to eke out 1 book a month, and if I don't hit it, that's totally fine, but I know that I like reading, so if I can do it, that's amazing. And I am on my, please hold, I am on my 14th book of the year, and it is only just beginning the second half of the year. I'm so happy about that. A couple of those have been audiobooks, which is so nice that I can just like put on, it's like a podcast, but it's a book, put in my headphones while I'm taking a walk or like doing dishes or folding laundry. It's also nice that it's not screen time. I'm trying to do less screen time. I shouldn't say that. I'm not great about that, but what I have been doing is not going on social media before 9 a.m. And a lot of days I start work at 8, so a lot of days I'm already like in the work zone, so I don't even check it until after that. And that's been really nice to not wake up and like immediately open Instagram and just start scrolling. I definitely have days that I still do that, but overall I am trying not to, and most days of the week, at least 5 days of the week, I accomplish that. Another thing that I've been doing that I love is knitting. I don't know if I've ever talked about it on this channel. I am a big knitter. I learned to knit when I was a kid. I had a few friends whose moms were knitters, and so I learned as a kid. And when I graduated from college, I was living in like a really small town, and I was like, I need something to do because I don't have enough friends. And I went to the craft store and I bought some knitting supplies, and like since then, in the past, I don't know, almost 15 years, I've just really worked to like hone my skills and learn new skills and just do that thing that like makes me calm, it makes me happy. So I actually have a couple of finished products that I want to show you. This is the more recent one that I just made. It is so gorgeous. It is a sleeveless sweater. It's a little cardigan, and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get a good shot of it, but I got these gorgeous buttons on Etsy, and I'm just obsessed. I mean, truly, truly obsessed. I wore this for the first time this week, and I love it. I love how it fits. I really like the color. It's like a little bit out of my comfort zone. I tend to wear some like darker, more neutral, I mean, this is not neutral, but more darker tones, and I kind of went for the bright here, but I really love it. And then the one that I actually made before that, I haven't technically finished all the way, but it is just a regular long sleeve pullover sweater, and it's just this gorgeous, I don't know if you can even see, like it's got some mohair in it, and it's just gonna be so, so cozy. If you're a knitter, I'll put links to these patterns in the description box. They're both by Petite Knit. I love her stuff, and I knit both of these in Sandnes Garn, whatever the recommended ones are in the patterns. They're amazing, I love them. And then like kind of my ongoing project that I've been working on literally for years, it's a quilt, but you make it in these tiny little puffy, they're called hexie puffs. They're these puffy little hexagons, and you make them in all different colors, and the final quilt is like you stitch them together like this. This is called the Beekeeper's Quilt. I just use leftover sock yarn. I used to knit a lot of socks. I was actually a pattern designer, primarily for sock knitting patterns. So I have lots and lots of sock yarn just sort of sitting in my closet. So I've been working on this for a very long time, but I've made, oh gosh, a few dozen, maybe even like 6 dozen of these hexie puffs this year. This is kind of like my in-between project when I'm like, I want something to knit, but I don't want or haven't committed to like a full-fledged project. Because those are also like, I have to make an investment because I like to buy nice high quality yarn that is going to last a really long time, that I'm going to love. So it's like, I have to work myself up to the financial investment and like pick a pattern that I like, because again, I want to have items that I will love for a really long time. So when I don't feel like making all the decisions, I kind of just pull out some leftover scrap sock yarn and knit these awesome little hexies. I can link this pattern too if I can find it even. It's like very old. It was like a trendy thing for a while. I'm not plugged into the knitting world anymore, so I don't know if that's a thing that people are even interested in. The other thing that I'm like super excited about this season is my little garden. In the past, I have tried to have a little patio garden. We live in a condo, so we do have a little back porch, and I have tried to do some container plants with varying success. I've grown tomatoes a bunch, and they're always like medium success. I've never been like, wow, this was great. This year I was at the Dollar Tree and I saw seeds on sale, and I said, I'm gonna try growing some crap from seed. And things are growing, so I will show you what we have. The one thing that did not germinate, and it was 100% my fault, was some contender green beans. I soaked the beans as it recommends before planting them, but I kind of let them soak like 3 or 4 times longer than I should have. So I'm not surprised that they did not germinate. But in their stead, we actually saw this beautiful rosemary plant at our farmer's market, and so that's what we've planted here. And like, I don't know, we buy a container of fresh rosemary basically every week at the grocery store for like $2 or $3, like a lot of money for not a lot of rosemary. So now we just have it right on our porch, which is amazing. Around this rosemary, I have planted some carrots, and there are also carrots in this main raised bed as well. They seem to be doing pretty well. Some of them not so great. To be determined if there's actually anything growing underneath the soil. There's a couple that I feel very confident that we will get something, and then there's a lot that I'm like, what's going on? I don't know, we'll see. But around all those carrots, I have some beautiful zucchini and summer squash plants. I definitely planted them too close. I probably did not need to plant this many. I planted 5 seeds of each, and 4 of each germinated, and now I realize I probably should have thinned it down to just 2 each, and even that might be a lot. They are not yet putting off flowers, but they are starting to grow the little flower, like pre-flower bud kind of things. I'm really excited for those to blossom. I have a neighbor who has a beautiful garden, and she showed me the difference between a male and a female flower, so I can like take the male flower and hand pollinate into the female flowers to increase my chances of pollination and getting some beautiful fruits. It's kind of a little dream of mine. I mean, it's definitely a dream of mine to like have a garden that we can eat from. Hopefully one day we live in a house where I can like do that in more than just like one container. But even this year, I'm like, how cool would it be if I got zucchini and I made zucchini bread with my own zucchini? Like, any fruit that we get would be amazing. Like even just one zucchini that I cook and like saute, whatever, that's so cool. But I'm like, if there was enough that I could make some zucchini bread and put that in the freezer, that would be so cool. Same thing with the carrots. I made a really good carrot cake earlier this year. I think, yeah, it was around Easter time. And I'm like, how cool would it be if I could make a carrot cake with my homegrown carrots? Yeah, it's kind of a dream. So this year, that might maybe be a reality. I don't know, we'll see. If I am able to film more, which I hope I will be, I will definitely show you guys and let you see how the garden is coming along. Oh, and the one other thing that I'll say, I have a couple hanging baskets and a couple like balcony hanging things, baskets. And again, I was at the Dollar Tree and they had these things called like flower rockets or something. And again, it's like, it's $1.25. If it's bad, oh well. I kind of wish I did a little more reading on it before I planted them, just because I might have planted them a little bit differently. But basically there's supposed to be a whole bunch of seeds sort of in this fabric. There are different like bouquet mixes, and I do have some germination on them. So hopefully I'll get some flowers from those this summer. That was kind of an afterthought. I wanted to plant those full of flowers, but I was like a little behind the 8 ball in terms of like getting flower starts at the nurseries. And then when I was looking, everything was kind of already gone. So if anything grows from these little rocket things, that would be cool. Otherwise, I will just try again in the future. So that's my little garden. That's kind of like the hobby stuff that I've been doing: reading, knitting, gardening, watering my plants every day, and hanging out with my kid. It is 4th of July weekend. It's also hot, so like I want to make a treat. I do have supplies to make like biscuits for strawberry shortcake, but I don't really want to run the oven right now because the house is nice and cool. And I just took that walk and it was hot. So I think what I'm gonna make instead is some Rice Krispies treats. Super easy, no bake. I know that I've made them on my channel before, but I thought I could just take you along as I make those. Delicious, but also a super easy treat in case we end up like seeing any neighbors or, you know, just doing anything with friends over the long weekend. So let's go get that done. I've got like a little bit over an hour before I have to pick up my kid from daycare, and I want to have those done and like have the kitchen cleaned up before he comes home. So let's go. If you've never made Rice Krispies treats from scratch, number one, they are far superior. I love a homemade Rice Krispies treat. I actually actively dislike a like prepackaged one that you get at the store. I just think they taste like plastic. I don't know. Am I alone in that? Leave me a comment down below if you think Rice Krispies treats from the store taste like plastic. But if you've never made them before, the recipe is like always on the box. But it's also super easy. You need a stick of butter, which is a 1/2 cup of butter. And I add a little pizzazz, okay? I brown this butter. A lot of people will just melt the butter and the marshmallows together, which is totally fine. But if you brown the butter first, so you basically melt the butter first, let it cook a little bit so the milk solids start to turn brown. You get that really rich, like nutty scent and flavor. And then you add your marshmallows. It just gives this like little kick, this little je ne sais quoi. I don't know, it's just like a richer flavor. Trust me, you should do it. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna get my biggest burner turned on high. Once that butter is melted, I have 2 10-ounce bags of mini marshmallows. They don't have to be mini marshmallows, but they definitely melt easier and faster when you do the mini ones. And then 1 like 12-ounce box of Rice Krispies. This is the Aldi brand crispy rice, and these are also Aldi brand marshmallows. And believe it or not, Aldi brand butter. While this is melting, I'm gonna get my pan out. I use a 10 by 14, whatever your like big glass baking dish is. And then I'm gonna put down some parchment paper, and I don't know if it really works, but I'm gonna turn my butter down just a little bit. You know, the parchment paper doesn't lie flat, blah, blah, blah. So I do the like scrunch up crinkle method just so that it lays a little bit flatter. And then it just helps get the paper like a little more into the corners a little more easily. That is really all the setup we need to do. So here is The brown in this pan is not the butter. This is just like residual stuff in my pan, which I want to clean. But cooking butter like this, you have to be really careful to not overcook it. It can go from brown to burnt really quickly, so I'm not gonna walk away. It is a little bit hard to see with the foam, and it might not show up very well on camera, but this butter is starting to brown just a little bit. And so again, I'm gonna keep an eye on it so that I don't burn it. So as that's going, I'm just gonna cut open my bags. Ooh, it is browning, so I really need to be careful. I'm gonna cut open my bags of marshmallows, but be careful because I've had them fall over and spill marshmallows everywhere, so I'm just gonna have those propped up. I already spilled a couple, see? Okay, this, wow, I'm gonna turn that all the way down. This is brown. Can you see? No, you can't. Well, maybe you can. That's the color we have. I'm gonna dump in my marshmallows, both bags, and get these melted. Now that we have these marshmallows mixed in, it shouldn't brown too much more because this has brought the temperature down a lot. It can seem like it's making a huge mess in your pan, or like if you get any outside of your pot, your pan, whatever. Marshmallows, gunk like this will just dissolve in water. So usually when I'm done with this process, I just fill up my dish with some water, let it sit for a while, and then scrub it afterwards, and it is super easy cleanup. That's why this is one of the easiest treats to make. It's like almost instant gratification because they cook so fast and there's no baking involved, and the cleanup is also really easy, and it's 3 ingredients. So yeah, I mentioned earlier, I thought that this would be a nice treat to have on hand this weekend for the 4th of July, both because Rice Krispies treats are delicious and we will eat them at home, but also because it would be a nice treat to bring to friends if we end up seeing anyone. We've made some nice friends in our neighborhood, daycare families mostly, but also just some like people that we've met on the street, folks that have kids, and we really are just loving the community that we're finding in our neighborhood. We honestly didn't think that we would be staying in the city. Whenever we outgrew this condo, we figured our move would be to the suburbs for a number of reasons, but now we just feel like we love the community that we're building and the friends that we're making and the friends that our son is making. And like, yeah, I know he's just a toddler, and obviously we can all make friends again. Like, we can do it again, but yeah, we just are feeling like a strong sense of community here that we didn't have before we had our son. It's just been really special, and a lot of us actually live on the same street, just within a couple blocks of each other, so we see people out playing in the street and we go and say hi. I'm gonna add my Rice Krispies now, because this is pretty much melted, all the big pieces. So now I'm just gonna turn off the heat all the way, carefully fold all of these delicious Krispies in. Okay, that is pretty well mixed in. That is hot. So I'm gonna grab a couple of pot holders and just scoop all of this right into my prepared baking dish. And then I really just smush it out into the corners, try to get it even. I do like to push most of the air out. Like, I don't push it down with like a mug or anything, like a glass, to get it super compact, but I definitely like it kind of on the solid side. So the goal becomes, how even can I get the Rice Krispies just with my spatula? So that's what we've got. This needs to cool all the way. It just needs to come down to room temp, and then I'll pop this straight out, cut it into squares, and store them in a Ziploc bag. That's usually what I do because I don't have Tupperware big enough to hold a whole tray of Rice Krispies treats. And like I said, this looks like a huge mess, but I just let it cool, soak it in the sink, and it's like super, super easy cleanup. But benefit of being the cook is you get to pick off all the nice Rice Krispies bits that didn't make it out of the bowl. So that is all I have for today. I have literally been thinking about making this video for so long. Even before I started part-time in April, I was like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have Fridays I can do. And then obviously I just never got around to it, but I'm not making any promises. Life is busy, but maybe now I'll have a little bit of momentum rolling. Thank you so much for watching. If you are not already subscribed, please consider doing so. It really does help my channel grow and reach new people. It's so fun to be here. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.